Hello, this is Starshot Sky here to welcome you to my Let's Play of Ys Origin. I finished up playing through Batman Arkham Asylum, getting all the Riddler trophies and challenges, all that done, and completing the game as much as I pretty much wanted to play through it. And after that, I felt like I wanted something with a bit more action and intensity, something I've always enjoyed, and I feel like hasn't always gotten as much attention as I feel like it should, because it really is a great game, and I would hope more people would, discover it like I have. So I thought, why not go ahead and do a Let's Play of it to show people how much I've loved and enjoyed the game over the years, and, hope that they, this Let's Play will let you get an idea of kind of what to look forward to in future games, and hope that it provides support to the developer as well as, having something fun to do again. Because the Ys series itself has always been a very fun game series that I've enjoyed over the years, and I was disappointed to learn how this series has been going on for as long as it has, and yet it never came over to the States until like back in the early 2000s, I forget when exactly. But so my plan for this playthrough though is that there are 3 different characters you can play as. You first only have access to Unica, the axe-wielding fighter, as well as Hugo, the energy-firing mage, in the beginning. Once you play through their campaigns, then you unlock Toll, who is a berserker, and is only, experts only is advised. So, pretty much the plan for this playthrough is I'll play through all 3 campaigns from start to finish, collecting as much of the equipment and upgrades as possible. I don't want to grind too much, or if I do, then I'll make sure to tell you guys when I've done some. But, go through each of their campaigns, and I'll start off with Unica, because that's kind of where I originally started off as well. And of course you can choose your difficulty from very easy to nightmare. And as you can see, since I've played through this game once before, I have completed the game on hard mode and not normal like I normally do, but I found hard mode was, a good challenge for me, and that it wasn't like overly difficult, but still a challenge to have. So of course, you go ahead and choose whatever you feel would be most appropriate. I do warn you, this is known to be a somewhat difficult game in some respects, or at least the bosses will give you quite a challenge. But yeah, so that's kind of my main plan for the playthrough. Playing through all 3 characters on hard mode, and getting and collecting as much as possible. I'm not sure if I'll 100% complete everything, but we'll see how this as things go. And I hope you enjoy as I comment and play through this game that was originally made back in 2006, but it didn't really come over here until 2014 for the PC. So it should be easy to hopefully pick up and still play. I'm actually playing this on Windows 10, so even with that, it still works just like a dream. But enough talking. Let's go ahead and get introduced to the story. And for this SP bonus acquisition, I'll just go ahead and set enable to it, because I guess that'll help in getting more SP bonus or something like that, or it might be like maybe a mechanic. I forget if I had it on when I originally started, but let's just not think about it and go ahead and enable for now.
Daddy, il avait un grand pays légendaire.
And I can't change the language on this. For whatever reason, the default for it was always French. I'm not quite sure why they decided to do it in French, but I guess it was the designer's choice. Or maybe this was like just the original Western, but who knows.
Sur l'intervention des dièses jumelles et des 6 les grands pays prospéraient.
And so for the most part, I'll just let
Les
the
dièses
game
avaient un trésor
explain itself,
précieux.
since it does at least have
La
English
perle noire.
words here
Elle avait des
to
sortes de
let people know what the
pouvoirs
heck is going on and what the story is. Even if all you're going to
Avec
be
la
hearing is
magie,
French.
on pouvait faire des miracles.
So,
Avec
without
l'éclairage,
further ado,
on pouvait amplifier
let's
ses
hear the story of
pouvoirs
Yi's
magiques.
origin. Prologue to the Yi's series.
Grâce à elle, on croyait que les pouvoirs de Is dureraient une éternité. Mais soudain, un désastre frappa Is. Beaucoup de monstres démoniques sont apparus et ont commencé à envahir Is. Les forces diaboliques ont tout fait de ravager la terre, mais tous les habitants sont sauvés dans le temple de Salomon. On aurait dit la fin du monde. C'est alors la perle noire qui sauva Is de la ruine, car elle souleva les temples dans les airs. Mais, aussitôt après ces soulagements fugitifs, les démons ont construit une autre tour, et une nuée de monstres sont partis en direction du sanctuaire. Is menaçait de tomber. Pire encore, un événement imprévu arriva dans le temple de Salomon. Quelle histoire! Les déesses jumelles, les descendantes de Is, ont toutes disparu. Dans une situation désespérée, les 600 ont pris une résolution. Pour constituer une équipe de recherche, ils ont organisé une sélection parmi des chevaliers et des sorciers. Enfin, les 100, ils envahiront à la terre dévastée.
And that is the start for our story. But there is more AMV to come. Because this wouldn't be a Japanese game without something to try and summarize the game itself in an AMV style. Come on. Let's stop fading from black now and show up here. There we go. So for the most part, the cutscene does try to provide some context of kind of what happened here, because we did see it looked like they were in this, orb of light, and then they got knocked, or then the orb of light got scattered. So for the most part, that was an indicator that all the people in the search party that were traveling down through that orb got separated. And of course, we're getting a bunch of subtitles or some thoughts from Unica right now. Not sure why they had to do it in this form though. But I don't plan to try and voice all their lines like I've done for like the first game, Legend of Heroes, because I found that to be fairly like not up to the standard or quality I would like, especially because for some of the characters I don't think my voice fits that well, and I can't really change it well enough, I felt, to make it of good quality. Like if I wanted to do an entire cast of people, of trying to voice them all, I would either need some sort of voice modifier or changer, or a lot more people to help. But yes, we are now introduced to our main character for this campaign, Unica Tova, or as we first introduced, the girl with braids. I'm not sure why we had to have that subtitle, or that title for her right away, even though we know her name's at least Unica. Good idea. Girl with braids, you should totally head or join up with a search party that was heading down to the surface. But yes, you can't remember what you did because that's always so common in these transitions when you're falling from great heights. Okay, apparently we landed right next to a giant tree. At least I think it's giant. Yeah, it's a fairly big tree. And we already got its name, even though we haven't asked it its name yet, if it can talk. Which apparently it does, because it's the Rhoda tree. In fairly bold text. Not even in a text box though, it's just floating text. Actually, I'd be curious if there is ever a world out there that exists where everyone, any form of communication people had just simply showed up in boxes and words appeared in front of it. Or just words appeared in front of them, so you had to read those words to understand what they were trying to say. You couldn't hear them at all. Yep, and apparently this tree also has a younger brother. So I'm not quite sure how I'd feel about having giant talking trees though. And he's complaining that it's boring, he's a boring conversationalist, I guess, his younger brother. Well, why would demons go after trees, right? But then again, it's a bit hard to tell what the surroundings are like, since this is all we've seen so far. And thanks for touching on a sore subject there, giant elder tree. I wonder what that game would have been like if we had gotten to play that part of the story. you know, fighting off the horde of demons trying to, you know, raise the shrine. Well, thanks for apparently giving us the bad news, Elder Tree. Well, glad to see the daughter is alright with losing her dad, but, you know, she has been trained as a warrior, so I'm guessing they're sort of prepared for that. Yeah, that's always a problem. It would have been nice if they could leave a note. I'm not sure how well they leave notes back in medieval times. I guess they usually normally leave letters and not just post-it notes. I don't see how that tree could have seen anything since he doesn't have eyes. Yes, I'm gonna be like this for most of the game. If I see a plot hole, I'll poke it. You know, I don't care if, you know, everything could be just explained away by magic. You know, I still want some sort of realism in my games, even if they are fantasy-based. But man, why did the demons apparently destroy everything but the tree? Like, just look at this. Were there flame demons who came around burning everything, or were all the trees really used to build that tower? Yeah, well, where else would they be at this point if Lady Rena and Fena, you know, is there a town or somewhere else they should be going to and not the ominous looking tower that's the only thing around here? How would the tree stop them? He's a tree. He can't reach out with his limbs, can he? So apparently he could have stopped them, but he just decided not to. Yeah, who just landed now, so you're kind of changing subjects here, Tree. Well, I hope you do have a way to get back up, because, you know, you kind of teleported down here, so hope, and you can't use magic from what you've told us, so you'll definitely need a way back home with more magic. And now we're starting to lose communication. Sadly, the words are disappearing. How do the gases flare up? Oh, whatever. It's useless to try and keep, you know, pointing out these flaws, but oh well, it's... you know, for the most part, the story is fairly solid and it works. Like, if you just simply suspend your disbelief, you'll kind of just ignore most of it and just simply go with it. You know, there are a few parts that are kind of a bit, well, maybe not as good. Like, don't expect this to be as the next great story. Of course, I don't get why we're seeing this cutscene right now. We sort of already saw the destruction when we looked at the tower, and now they're just simply reinforcing the tower and how evil and ominous it is with all the destruction around it. Since it is kind of annoying, we don't actually see her go to the tower, or go inside the tower. And there's actually nothing outside the tower either. The entire game is within this tower. So, we're gonna be getting used to this place for a while now. Yeah, I guess that might be a good point, Unica. But then again, why would demons need to guard the entrance? Was there anyone else around here they have to worry about? Except you guys, of course. Yep, and of course all we have are magic users with staffs. Or actually one staff and 2 wands. What, you can't take on 6 demons with just the 3 of you? It sounds strategy there. I can't seem to pronounce her name right. Elol? No, not Elol. Eola? I guess that might sound right to me. And Shion. It's good that we already know their names and not just random people with braids. Or clothes, I guess, in this case. What, that guy's name is Dino? Do they even know dinosaurs exist? Because I guess I'm not sure where the name Dino comes from. I think it's Italian, right? But I guess when I think of Dino, I just think of dinosaur for some reason. But I guess it is Italian, so maybe that's where it's from. I believe, But if I'm wrong, go ahead and correct me in the comments below. Good to know her anger's there. Oh yeah, now it tries to tell you the basics, but I prefer using a controller for this type of game. And depending on how you want to set it up, you can either, make your attack your X button, or your A button, or your B, or Y. And just for reference, I'm using a Logitech controller. But you can pretty much make your button presses whatever you want, as well as your key presses if you want to use the keyboard. So, but it's up to you, but I definitely recommend a controller. But pretty much you just have your attack, your jump, and then there's some other ones. And then of course you will get hit, and there's currently no way to guard. So, you kind of just have to avoid their attacks for the most part, and just attack when you can. And then of course you do have skills, and you get boosted, so you kind of go Super Saiyan in a way. And you of course take less damage, as well as do more damage. But these demons for the most part are fairly easy to take out, and it's a good idea to make sure to collect as much SP as possible. Oh, okay, so the bonus acquisition I think I got was likely from from previous gameplay, which is why I have like 30,000 SP already instead of just 0. But I should probably keep focusing on the story here. You think when they created a search party, they would make sure people know who was who, just in case. Of course, it doesn't help to, they don't really have a way to tell you who's talking right now, other than just the name, so you just have to recall, oh, the blonde guy is Dino, and the girl is Eolia? I can't seem to pronounce her name. I'm just gonna call her, Leah. I think that sounds better anyway. I can pronounce her name well enough. Unica Tova. I'm not sure why. I can't, but it's not too bad of a name. Not sure where Tova originally comes from, though. Well, you're not a fighter now, are you? You're a mage or a priest, I guess. You don't really you can't really tell by what kind of class or role they are right now. Only thing I know is they use magic. And that Unica really is just, you know, smash them until they're dead. Or slice them, I guess, too, if you think about the axe here. Yes, volunteer her services. She didn't just burst in trying to, you know, want to help out because that's what she really wanted to do. Yeah, apparently she didn't figure out that everyone got separated, not just her. It is nice that they do at least try to explain what happened, even though they sort of showed us in that AMV we saw earlier. That they are at least going to specifics, which I do, you know, appreciate, since that way it kind of gives you a sense that, yeah, this is actually, there's a logic behind things and it helps with the world building and all that. And of course, she explains her conversation with the tree and how apparently this is where we needed to go if we want to find the goddesses. Well, I'm guessing there's a good reason for it, even if you guys don't know it yet. Yeah, for the most part, they're just kind of, you know, a lot of the dialogue is kind of what you would expect to hear when you're kind of starting a task like this, so it makes sense. Of course, as the main character for this game, you'll be alone for the most part. Yep, just be a bodyguard, Unica. That will make for a great game, right? Yes, only in the immediate area, nothing too far away. Yes, because getting combat training in the middle of a mission would be something you'd be allowed to do. And yeah, she's fairly concerned about her ability with no magic, even though I would think most warriors wouldn't focus on magic in the first place. I feel like Shion here is missing a few more things, and that her reasoning isn't actually that sound when you're in the middle of a mission in uncharted territory with limited fighting ability. She's at least right about this part. They do need to learn more about the tower. So you do sort of feel this is a bit like the writer's hand trying to explain, hey, we need our character to have a reason to go off on her own, even though she came with a party and should be working with them. But of course, Shion here kind of makes it so that we can go out on our own and still make it back to here if we ever want to. And I guess this is also their way of trying to introduce you to, like, hey, this is actually your save point and your warp point too. So they do a good job of trying to gather everything together and trying to make it all feel like part of the world without it kind of taking you out of it, like, you know, some games can do sometimes. I think they wouldn't worry about that, since, you know, I'm pretty sure most people would assume the same. Who knows why, but, you know, that's just how they set up the game, to have these statues to work as warp points and save points. You think they would have given stuff like that out in the beginning, just in case. But then again, they wouldn't know these towers existed until now, so I guess the question would be why they would have those crystals in the first place. At least this shell we're receiving is more practical. Also, that sound effect you just heard from receiving an item, that's their trademark, you know, when you obtain an item sound that's used throughout the entire franchise. Very similar to Zelda's theme of discovering an item. Also, I never quite you know, I sort of get why shells are always relegated to communication devices, but, you know, I'm sure there are other things they could have used too as to do it, or at least I would think you would have the issue of always hearing something else through the shell as well, not just someone's voice, but also the ocean. Yep, she did. Poorly, but they don't seem to be fighting you too much on it. Yeah, that's the only issue with this game, is that, you know, you don't really work with your party that much. They're kind of just here as characters to play with, or and progress the story here and there. And they do help out here and there, but maybe not as much as you might in other games. And that's pretty much the start of the game. So that's about all we have for today, so join us next time as we continue our search through the tower and find, you know, more monsters and hopefully our lady goddesses or someone, whoever built this tower and whatever we'll find. So until next time, have fun gaming.